So
Yes.
usage.
So you
The
said
question has
the
come.
question has come.
Usage of
Usage
IVIG
of
in
IVIG in
COVID-19.
COVID-19.
So we have
So we
already
have
discussed
already
about usage. According to you, Dr. Ravi, what is success rate of IVIG in COVID-19 patients? Percentage of patients you can say you used and success rate.
Sir, severe ARDS carries a very high mortality in COVID-19. So if you look at the absolute percentage wise, the success rate might look a bit strange. But case to case basis means the purpose why we started IVIG, I would say gives me a result in more than 70% of my cases. I can achieve control in the cytokine markers in at least 70% of the cases in whom I have IVIG, we have given appropriately.
Okay, okay. So, Dr. Tanay,
Yes, sir.
will you answer about this question? Dosage with drug combinations. What dosage this can be given?
Sir, as we have already mentioned in your previous slides, moderate to high dosages of IVIG is having significant results in moderate to severe ARDS. And I can't agree more with you because we have been using it almost 25 to 30 gram per day for 3 to 5 days, depending upon severity of the disease, and we have been getting quite good results if used in time.
Yeah, yeah. And what we use in rheumatological conditions is 2 gram per kg or 5 days, right?
Yes.
So uh, within this dosage, also if there is affordability issue, like in that study which I've shown, they've
Hmm.
used 4 vials, 20 gram per day. So we can use like that also, I think so, right? So Dr. Ravi, at what stage we should give IVIG is another question which has come up.
Uh, well, if you are detecting cytokine storm in your patient, there is almost 10 times significant rise in CRP or LDH, ferritin, and IL-6 markers are raised. I think that is the time that you can start using IVIG. I don't think that the CT extent involvement of disease has anything to do with IVIG use decision. It is more of the cytokine storm that you have to document, and you can start using IVIG.
Yes, I also agree with that. What I see in rheumatological conditions, immunological disorders, sudden deterioration of patient clinically. If you see sudden deterioration clinically, and and this corroborates with the lab findings, definitely yes, there's the time I think so. We can use. Rightly said, Dr. Ravi. And Dr. Tanay, one question is combination of drugs used when this treatment is going on. Can we use other treatment? What drugs can be used with this IVIG? Like for example, steroids dosage, other tocilizumab or infliximab or bevacizumab.
Yes, yes, definitely, sir. We have been using IL-6 inhibitors, tocilizumab, bevacizumab, but again, the timing is quite crucial in those modalities also. And if we don't happen to get good, appropriate response, then IVIG is always an answer for that.
Okay. So Dr. Ravi, another question with the same thing which we have discussed already, but they want dosage of IVIG based on lung functions or severity of breathlessness. Specifically, they asked.
No, see one thing, although I have already described it, but there is one very important point. Patients with relative fluid overload, like let's say kidney diseases, heart diseases. So even when we use IVIG in them, we use them to the extent of 20 grams per day. It is very well tolerated. So breathlessness, be it cardiac or kidney origin, also if they are in cytokine storm, we can use IVIG in up to 20 grams per day. But suppose you are having no other reason for breathlessness, it is pure COVID-19 ARDS. Then I think 25 to 30 gram of IVIG is a justified dose for a average patient.
Okay. So Dr. Tanay, how we can maximize use of IVIG in COVID-19? How we can, it's a good drug with practically no side effects. If we see side effects, it's the allergic reaction initially if we start, or rate of infusion is important. So can you brief audience about how it is being used, how dosage is being given, in what time it should be given, how this product is to be given, and what precautions to be taken when it is being given.
So basically, in today's era, we are running short of tocilizumab. I suppose this is the ideal time for focusing ourselves on IVIG, where we have to keep a very low threshold for this product, this beautiful drug. And as Dr. Ravi sir mentioned, that the timing is utmost important. And if we start the therapy on as on an early basis, we can get good results even in moderate to severe ARDS patients. Regarding the cost effects, cost issues, I mean, it is definitely a big hurdle where it becomes a problem for the patient. But again, if we can cut down on other modalities like bevacizumab or any other IL-6 inhibitors or other costly drugs, IVIG is a better alternative therapy to rest of the
Okay.
drugs available in the market.
Okay. Dr. Ravi, some other question came, usage of and benefit of immunosine alpha, not related to IVIG, but this question has come, so I'm asking.
Basically, it is all like you showed in your slides, sir, the immunopathogenesis of the cytokine storm. There are a lot of inflammatory markers involved. Immunosin alpha is also immunomodulation therapy, basically, and at several mediators and pathways of the inflammatory system. Immunosin alpha stimulates a few enzymes and inhibits a few enzymes. So that is how immunosin alpha has a role in COVID-19. But again, if you want immunomodulation, then immunosin alpha we have seen has a lot of limitations. There are also a lot of availability and cost issues with it. So I would still give a edge to intravenous immunoglobulin over immunosin alpha.
Yeah, yeah. So especially now here and there we are seeing cases of mucormycosis. I think so. Daily one patient we are seeing in a particular hospital, in any hospital, a case of mucor. So Dr. Tanay, question has came. Can we use this IVIG in case of mucormycosis?
Sir, I don't think so. But definitely we can get an edge with IVIG where we can use lesser doses of steroids in patients, and there will be a lesser probability of patients landing into difficult situations like mucormycosis. So IVIG there as a role where if we are using IVIG, early IVIG usage is there, then the steroid dosages definitely can be cut down, and the probability of patient landing into such grievous diseases is reduced.
Yeah, it can be given, yes, definitely. So, a question came by Dr. Subhash Tiwari. I would like to discuss two patients. First patient having CT score of 25 by 25. Second, having CT score of 15 by 25 and creatinine of 2.5. So, in that case, IVIG can be given, Dr. Ravi.
You basically, Mishra ji wants to discuss about a case with some renal dysfunction and
Yes.
whether we can give intravenous immunoglobulin therapy in that or not. Yes, we can very safely give IVIG therapy in patients with creatinine derangement. We can also give them very safely in patients with with decreased urine output. We can give them in patients with this. Patients who are on maintenance hemolysis and who are going into cytokine storm. We have even used in patients who are having kidney transplant. So in all these patients, we have already used intravenous immunoglobulin with good effect.
Yeah, definitely we can use IVIG in this. And I think
Only
so.
one
Yeah.
add-on, sir, sorry to interrupt. Only one add-on is that electrolyte monitoring should be a little more regular in patients who are having added kidney disorders. I feel that is one precaution we need to take a little bit.
And infusion should be slow in kidney patients, especially.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Generally, infusion is being given initially 25 mg per kg dosage, then it can be increased to 45, then 50, and then maximum is 100 ml per hour is the dosage which can be given IVIG. One related contraindication is there. If there is severe IgA deficiency, then IVIG cannot be given. Otherwise, it can be used. So, Dr. Tanay, there is a question which we have discussed already. Uh, uh, Already plasma therapy and bevacizumab is being given to a patient. Can IVIG be used?
Yeah, definitely, sir.
Yeah, this can be given, and we are using that. I explained this last case. We have used both the things, and we have used IVIG. So I think so. These questions are over, and uh, if any question, please you can ask directly also. Anyone?
Yes, so we're requesting everyone to raise their hand. We have Dr. Subhash Tiwari who has raised his hand. We're making him a presenter to directly ask the question, sir.
He asked, can we
Dr.
use IVIG for fibrosis patients?
Yes, another question from him. But then he had raised his hand. So, Dr. Subhash Tiwari, please ask your question, sir.
I have two cases, the typical cases from Madhya Pradesh, Jabalpur. The one is having CT score of 25 and 25, and the chances for fibrosis is there as well. And the second patient having your CT score 15 out of 25 and creatinine of 1.5, or sorry, 2.5. So on these two different cases, what is the line of treatment that we need to follow, and if IVIG can be a possible line of treatment or not?
Dr. Ravi, yeah.
Sir, you gave two very good case scenarios, very tough cases, both of them. But see, my point of view is very simple. You have described to us a CT finding. Again, you are talking about ARDS and extent of ARDS involvement. We need to understand what is the
These are,
cytokine position.
sorry, sorry to interrupt. These are the real cases. If you can
Yeah,
share me your number, I
sir.
will be able to share
So,
you
no, 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 no.
all the
You can
reports as
simplify. My point is the decision for IVIG has to be based on the cytokine storm of the patient, whether the patient is in a cytokine storm or not. In a 25 by 25, definitely patient will be in cytokine storm. If his CRP, LDH, and ferritin are elevated, you can safely go ahead and start it. But in a late case, in a burnt up case with fibrosis, you will not achieve anything by giving IVIG per se if the patient is not in cytokine storm.
Yeah. Uh, so Dr. Ravindra wanted to ask related contraindications for IVIG therapy. Dr. Tanay, can you say something about?
I've already mentioned about the absolute or relative contraindications, IgA deficiency, severe IgA deficiency, or hyperimmune allergy reaction to IVIG are quite few
And
contraindications for IVIG.
yeah, and Dr. Ravi already mentioned, in severe renal failure we can use,
Yes,
but in
yes,
in 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 mild renal failure we can use in less than creatinine clearance of less than 30 we cannot use IVIG. Yeah, and I think so. This is a good molecule which we rheumatologists all over India are using here and there, and pediatricians use a lot in case of Kawasaki's and hyperimmune disease, cytokine storm in post-viral illnesses in pediatric cases. So if it can be given in kids, then definitely it can be given in adults. And in this pandemic, everyone want to save life, so it's a good molecule can be used to save life, and we have got a quite good success rate in using it, which in rheumatological conditions which I mentioned, 400 mg per kg per day for 5 days, or 2 gram per kg per total dose, 2 gram per kg. For example, if a patient is 50 kg, then 100 kg, 100 gram can be given over 5 days, 20 gram per day. This is a dosage which we recommend in rheumatological conditions. In COVID-19, a dosage is not properly guideline based, and it is not being recommended. Studies are there in which people has used 20 gram, 25 gram. So this can be used. From my side, which I have to say, slow infusion to start, and then up to 100 ml per hour you can give later on, but slow infusion can be start. Please be precaution about infusions. It should be given judiciously, and it's a good molecule. Definitely, if prices are less now, we can be used. And so what's your final message, both of you? I'll ask Dr. Ravi, what's your final message to the audience?
Well, my final message is to, first of all, be open to change, to accept that IVIG is not limited to the domain of neurologists and
Sir, one
rheumatologists.
question from my side.
Please.
Yes,
How much is the risk of prothrombotic stage in these patients?
Dr. Ravi.
Prothrombotic state will again be related to the cytokine storm. If there is an elevated D dimer or you're getting stagnated blood supply in the veins, IVIG does not lead to a prothrombotic condition. Rather, it is anti-inflammatory, anti-coagulant somewhat. So it will not be pro-inflammatory, pro-coagulant, sir.
Yes, I agree with that. In cases of catastrophic antiphospholipid antibody syndrome or antiphospholipid antibody syndrome, we use IVIG. So this is a disease of prothrombotic stage, APLA. You must have heard. So we use IVIG in this disease also. So IVIG can be used. It will not cause prothrombotic stage. COVID-19 can cause, rather IVIG will reduces the prothrombotic stage by reducing this inflammation. Yes. Doctor Ravi, you said your final message.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, my point was that first of all we need to come out of that mindset that IVIG is a molecule of neurologists and rheumatologists. We need to be open to change. We need to accept IVIG in practice of chest medicine in the ICU. And IVIG, personally speaking, I find it as a very silent, as a very safe molecule. And to calm the storm, it is as silent as the sea. So we should use IVIG more frequently.
Yeah, no, very nice message, Dr. Ravi. Dr. Tanay, what do you want to say?
Sir, even I can't agree more with Ravi sir that this has given us a ray of hope in the cytokine storm of COVID-19 pandemic, and this molecule is is showing promising results in our moderate to severe ARDS patients, and we should definitely have a lesser threshold, a lesser inertia while starting patients on IVIG therapy. And to end this meeting, I would like to thank again Ravi sir and Saurabh sir for the wonderful presentation. And Ravi sir, it was very nice seeing you after such a long time. And on a lighter note, I would just like to end this by asking you one question: what after IVIG?
No, I very frankly speaking, at times when IVIG solves the problem, I just tend to answer that there is nothing needed after IVIG because usually when the patient gets okay, he's okay. IVIG solves everything.
Yeah, nice to discuss these things. Last questions came from Abhishek. Uh, yes, according to severity of cases, can we adjust the dosage? Uh, uh, I think so. In pediatric population, what pediatricians sometimes see, according to very severe disease, they sometimes give 2 gram per kg in 2 days dosage. But this can be done in pediatric population, but not in adult population. So I think so. 400 mg per kg per day dosage is sufficient. You can try, Dr. Abhishek, and we should not pump high dosage more than that to according to severity of disease. Yeah,
Dr. Ravi sir, I have a question. This is Semin Rao.
Yes.
yeah.
Can I, sir?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, doctor, there is an adult patient who is tested positive around 9 days before, and his viral load is, as of now is 23 out of 25, and he has only completed remdesivir dosage as of now, and he has started taking IVIG from yesterday onwards. So today is the second dose. So do you suggest any other molecule along with IVIG, and how advisable is that usage of IVIG on 9th day?
No, see, again, you are not using antivirals over here. We are talking about IVIG. Let's compare it with paracetamol. If you have fever, you give paracetamol. If you have a cytokine storm, you give anti-inflammatory like IVIG or other products. So
Yes,
if your patient is going into cytokine storm, let it be day 9 also. You are justified in using IVIG.
yes, sir. And doctor, do you suggest any other molecule along with IVIG?
No, first see the trend that the markets are taking after starting IVIG. Then only go because IVIG in itself is a very strong anti-inflammatory agent.
Yes, doctor. Thank you very much, sir.
Doctor, IVIG is not immunosuppressant, right? So if anyone want to cure any other molecule with it, can be used, right? So, I think so. It's a good discussion and good participation today, and I would like to thank Plasma Jen and Dr. Ravi and Dr. Tanay for
Thank you,
giving time, and we had a good discussion. Again, I would like to say this IVIG, if you want to see mechanism, it reduces the pro-inflammatory things, it increases the anti-inflammatory cytokines, and it inhibits the receptor binding of the toxins to the cells, and there are multiple mechanisms. In a way, because of this activation of anti-inflammatory cytokines and uh, this may have some antiviral activity also. So this can be given. Early therapy is good, but in our practical experience, we have seen response in day 3, day 13, day 14, day 15 also. So can be given from my side, which I want to end these things.